All right.
Hey, Dan, say something
Yo.
stupid.
Something stupid.
Oh, nailed it.
I think you missed that whole thing in the chat the other night.
I did?
I think we were talking about like Paul Heyman talking for Lesnar, and it was the time Lesnar was just like, "Hey, Paul, say something stupid,"
Oh, right,
and
right,
then
right.
just hands him the mic.
That's right. That's right. Was that Richard who said that?
I brought it up. I
Oh,
don't
it
remember
was
what we were
you.
talking about in the context. But anyways, go ahead and bring up your subject.
My wonderful subject to start this off is I would like to talk about Shane McMahon.
Here comes the money, and there it goes.
And there he
There
goes.
goes the money.
So Big D texted me, or I just joined the chat and it's like Shane was like, no, you texted me saying Shane was let go, and I'm like, is this a fucking joke? So I went and I looked, and sure enough, Shane was quietly let go, which that doesn't make that. It's like, well, what do they mean by quietly? It's like if it's online, it's not quiet anymore. But it's like I looked at that and I was like, you know what? I feel like he's gonna come right back, or like he's gonna play one of those spoilers and just be like, hey, I own half of the company, Dad. You know, that kind of shit. And this time it may actually feel more sincere or more real. And the more I read about it, the more I'm like, are they like going like meta on this? Are they actually using real life to create some storylines that are real? Or is Shane McMahon really fired? What do you guys think?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, I think he's gone. I think it's important to preface it with he has sold all but a very, very little bit of his stock in the company, so he really doesn't own much.
Oh.
And his only deal with the company at the time of being fired was his on screen. He had no power backstage. Other than the fact that his last name was McMahon, which obviously brings some power.
Yeah, because he got to really direct and whatever they call it. Just
So I've seen some disputes on that. Like, basically said Vince told his producers, which was Adam Pearce, Abyss, and a couple others, this is what I want to do. Shane basically took it upon himself to plan what he himself was going to do in the ring, which contradicted what the plan already was.
Oh shit!
And that's where the dilemma was.
So he went in for himself. He went to business for himself, eh?
Yeah, basically he overruled the producers and said, I'm going in at this point, I'm going to interact with these specific wrestlers, which if you notice were all big names.
Yeah.
He chose to eliminate KO, and he basically said the only person I'm putting over is Brock because it's Brock.
Huh. Well, did they change who was going to win the Rumble to begin with? Because I heard some talks about Riddle.
Yeah, so the last report I saw was there was never any plan for Riddle to win.
Oh.
And the plan prior to day one was Brock was winning the Rumble. But because of that last minute change putting him in that fatal 5-way match, they had to kind of work their way back to that plan. So the plan all along was for him to win the Rumble, just not take that path to the Rumble.
Gotcha.
You think?
Go ahead.
You think Roman not being at day one affected this?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we more than likely
because they made the change there, and when Lesnar got the tire.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think what we probably would have seen was maybe Seth winning that title because it seemed to be the way they were going. I think we would have seen the Heyman turning on Brock moment at day one. And because Roman wasn't there, they delayed it out to the Rumble.
Right. So the one thing I don't get about it is, Well, I mean, obviously they seem to be heading to the unification of the titles, which we had discussed. I know we talked about that before. Then it went away, but then now it's back. But the whole Lesnar being in the chamber thing, I hate that. I hate it. I mean, I think that's the only thing really about the chambers that I hate.
Well,
I don't know. But I mean, but you gotta get the belt on him, I guess.
Well, the
If that's what they're
chamber.
gonna.
Well, if they're going to unify the belts, yeah, and that would kind of suck for Bobby Lashley.
Well, I guess the what I really was saying was if you're gonna put him in the chamber, anyways, then wait, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know.
I don't think they're gonna do the unification. I think they're gonna end up keeping it separate because Raw and SmackDown, the more so USA and Fox, are gonna bitch about it if they unify it. I think Brock being in the chamber is strictly because they're in Saudi and Saudi's paying that big money to see Brock Lesnar.
Mm.
And by putting him in that, you can work around, just beating him straight up by having 5 other guys go after him.
Yeah. Well, I still feel like like Shane McMahon would actually actually come back. I have a feeling. Yeah. Well, Big D's on mute right now. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, I was cool with Shane McMahon being kind of like a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. I didn't mind. I really didn't mind him throwing KO over. I read a lot about how, he was undermining wrestlers and making them look bad. And it's like WWE has been doing that for a very long time now.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference?
Right.
Like, well, what's the freaking difference for Shane McMahon coming in, even being he was a top 3. He was in the last 3. So yeah, man.
And apparently that was part of what he booked himself to be in that final 3, final 4, whatever it was.
And that's probably where it was like, the point of contention for everybody. It's like, well, you get to book yourself. And it's like, yeah, he does. Like, I don't mind it, dude. I don't mind anything that happened with Shane McMahon.
Right. I don't think they would have released him if it was just him booking himself, because I feel like that's probably been the case for a while now when he's been there. Yeah. The problem seemed to more so be that Vince had direct orders and Shane fought against those direct orders. And then apparently they got into a fight Monday at Raw.
Oh, wow.
Like there's been reports that they were yelling, arguing backstage over it. Vince was like, that's not what we planned to do. And Shane said, well, this was better. And Vince was like, no, it's not. And they just kept going back and forth until finally Vince was like, you can leave.
I still see. I'm still kind of hoping that they did that as a publicity stunt,
which is possible.
It is, dude. I'd love that because then I can, there were very few storylines where I actually was legitimately interested. Like one of the latest or the newest ones as far as storylines go that really captured me was the whole Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. And Brock, yeah, and Ramen, yeah, just playing Lesnar playing on Paul Heyman's loyalty and shit. I thought that was awesome, and then how they switched at the Rumble, that was. I felt like they could have switched. They could have used Paul Heyman to really screw Brock Lesnar somewhere else. Because it's not like Paul Heyman did anything at the Rumble to warrant that. You know what I mean? They were just like, hey, go stand by him and bow to him again.
Right.
Right. Come on.
Right.
It could have been so much better.
Even when it happened, I'm like, is he just giving him the belt out of fear? It took me until he walked up the ramp with him.
Yeah.
before that though, like when he handed him the belt, it seemed like it was more like of a. I mean, I know Heyman, and like after watching it again, like he made like a face of like, like you could see on his face of like, yeah, let's do this, and that's when he handed him the belt. But at first I was like, did he just give him the belt because like of fear? But then no, but then he walked around the ring and joined Reigns.
Yeah,
I think,
see, that was a missed
I think,
opportunity.
Right,
I think
but
better camera.
it was still a swerve. But I mean, I wasn't expecting Reigns to come out and get involved. But
Yeah, he did. Paul Heyman
was
didn't do anything there, really. And he
no,
could have. He could have totally done something with Brock Lesnar.
and maybe it's not Brock that he's really turning on.
That's a possibility. That's a
In the end,
possibility.
maybe your hopes are yet to happen.
That's right. Okay, that's a good point, man. That's a great point.
Because in the end, I mean, I mean, I still have him as a Brock guy.
Yeah, what?
I still have him as a Brock guy.
Ah,
Whereas, I mean, I don't know.
well, I hope that Shane actually shows up, and it's one of these where like he still owns a part of the company, or he's still like half owner or something like that, and he just really gets himself into WrestleMania, and WWE's trying to undermine him and get him fired, and you got this whole locker room. He's kind of playing a heel, but kind of like like more like an anti-hero. I really do hope Shane comes back. I really do.
I think more realistically, if he does come back, it'll probably just be the Shane versus Vince butting heads thing, and Vince using Austin Theory to fight Shane, since that's where they've been going in storyline anyways.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been nice if they had like some sort of altercation in the Rumble between them two.
Right.
Even if like they didn't really acknowledge much of it, but at least there was something. The whole Owens thing. I mean, freaking Owens, man. And then Owens not being in the chamber. I don't. I'm interested to see where Owens is gonna play a part in all this.
That was
Going
actually
forward.
That was actually a topic I had written down. Was Kevin Owens?
Yeah. But back to Shane. Like I mean, I'm going back to when Shane had bought WCW or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like the whole thing with like this talk about AEW and all that. Like it'd be hilarious if eventually like in the near future that McMahon gets some hold of AEW or whatever, and then Vince just gets it from him, and then Vince owns
Did
everything.
y'all see the Shane AEW reports from today?
I didn't really read. I didn't read everything.
It was basically that different people in the WWE backstage, the office type side of things that know Tony Khan, had been reaching out to Tony and said, "Hey, this release is legit. Don't hire him. He is toxic as shit."
I would love for this to be meta, like incredibly meta, to where all of a sudden, like I don't know if it's on Raw or maybe Elimination Chamber, but you see Shane McMahon just, here comes the money. You're like, oh shit, like no way, like because everybody's like, this is for real. This is a real thing. This really happened, and it's like, I felt like, for me, what I wanted out of that whole situation, even if it's not Shane McMahon or anything like that, is that if WWE can actually start utilizing all these, well, they're no longer dirt sheets. They're just like whatever, you can call them dirt sheets now, but
They're jobbers podcast.
they're jobbers podcast. But except we don't have any insider. It's like all the people that are leaking shit, and it's like what if, in order to write some real storylines, you can use that as kind of like a new era of almost reality wrestling, like reality TV wrestling, and it's like really releasing some people, but not really, you know, and really selling these things or selling a company or somebody buying half of it, but not really. But it's all sold, you know. It's like it's all basically it's not a shoot, it's a work shoot, and so everybody that's reporting this shit just bites.
That kind of ties
No,
into
they could have did
something.
that years ago, but not now.
Yeah. But that kind of ties into something we were discussing in the chat the other day of like Dan and I specifically were seeing completely separate reports on the same topic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, do you think they're putting out like this to this place and this to this place either to throw curveballs or to convince somebody something's happening when it's not, or vice versa?
Yeah, I like that, man. I like that. But it's like it's just like a topic I was gonna ask a little further after this, which is Sammy versus Cody, their ladder match.
Yep.
Oh shoot, I lost my train of thought.
5-star, 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 5-star.
Oh yeah,
5-star.
yes, yeah. Well, this should be 30-star. I there's only so many times you can do this, like to really kind of go to the press and just say, "Hey, this really happened," and then it didn't actually happen. It's like very few times, just like the Sammy and Cody match, where you know it's like that match could have been 2 minutes long with 3 spots that were just freaking gorgeous. All right, they were gorgeous spots, and like you could have ended that match in 2 minutes, and everybody would have been talking about it. But you kept doing more spots and more spots, and now when you do that many spots, even if you do 1 or 2 spots, that raises the bar for every other spot. So now we're going to see even more people trying to do more spots, and pretty soon everybody's going to be jumping like 30 feet higher, you know? So like so you can't really overdo this, just how you can't overdo spots. But I think the Shane storyline is like just primed for just fucking everybody up, you know? And just such a surprise, and like, holy shit, we thought it was for real, and boom. What a surprise. And it's going to get people have been watching it for that, you know? So I really hope that Shane comes back like very soon.
Like when you want him to come back, you want him to come back and wrestle?
Yeah, surprise. Yeah, wrestle. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah. I want to see him in the ring.
You don't see him in the ring? He was just in the ring.
I don't want to.
Oh.
I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him come back.
He's better off in the ring than he is being like an authority figure, though.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to see him back anyway. Like in any sense, it's like I can't get my mind on him coming back. I can't grasp that at all. So.
Would he leave a bad taste in your mouth when he fought Strowman?
Oh no.
It was long before.
I don't know. I don't. There's a lot of people I feel like that way.
So you don't like Shane wrestling again?
No, not anymore.
Oh wow.
Not anymore. It's not like it's been a constant throughout the years, but not anymore.
I mean, he was also gone for quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also gets a pop though. He is definitely over.
Oh sure,
but
like,
big time.
Some people want soda.
It's like the whole getting a pop being everything. People will go online and bitch and complain about Vince all day long. But if you hear his music play in the arena, everyone in the arena goes apeshit.
Yeah.
Like,
no, but that's what I'm saying. That's why Goldberg still. That's why he's still booked. You know, people tune in to watch Goldberg.
He draws.
That's right. Shane would too. I bet you Shane would. You can sell this off as like a final family reunion, you know?
You have a pay-per-view with Brock, Ronda Rousey, and Shane McMahon, and there you go.
Kurt Angle's coming back too.
You made enough money in one pay-per-view that now maybe you can start doing what?
With Goldberg, bro, come on.
God. I'm sorry, I forgot Goldberg.
You
How
would.
could I?
You would.
How could I do that? Jeez.
You know, no BS. I sent Big D gifs of Goldberg from time to time.
I'm sure he really appreciates that.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Just to remind him he's still on the roster.
That's all right.
Yeah, dude. He was my I think it was number one on my Mount Rushmore, or was Vince? I think Vince was number one on my Mount
Vince,
Rushmore.
Vince was your last one. I don't know if we ever did them
In
in
order,
order, but yeah, he was your last one because Kane would be your number one.
Yeah, I
No?
think so. Yeah.
I mean, I know you
Kane.
like Goldberg a lot, but you have a spot for Kane. You got a spot for all them guys, but
Yeah. We need to do one with no BS.
yeah.
Mount
We'll have to
Rushmore.
go back and edit all our videos.
Edit
Yeah,
it in.
yeah.
Just throw it at the end of the video. Just throw my clip in of me talking about it.
You know, that's going to be an epic project. That'll probably take me like half a year. Like
So we
working
do
5
have
days a week.
We do have a lot of uploads.
Yeah. Yeah, we
When? How many did y'all do on your Rushmores? Did you just do 4?
I
5.
think we did 5.
You did 5. Okay.
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, I know you had Undertaker. You had Mankind, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see.
Very
Who
well.
else?
Those are the main guys.
You had Austin.
Did I?
Did you have
I
Austin?
think I did because that was.
Nope.
No, you did
I did.
because you had the bald guys.
That's right. I had Goldberg and Austin.
Yeah, Kane,
And
McMahon,
I had
Sting.
Kane, Sting, McMahon, Goldberg, and no, I had No, I did not have Austin.
No,
Jesus.
I think I chose The Rock
That's right.
because I was flipping flopping between The Rock and Austin.
I think yeah, I would still say the same. I wonder no BS's thing right now would be Earl Hebner would probably be in your top 5.
Why Earl Hebner?
Nobody ever has a referee in there.
I'm sitting here
we
with a manager / advocate on my top 5.
That's Captain Lou Albano.
No, I think it's pretty obvious who I would have.
You didn't put yourself on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. Number
how it
5. Yep. Not only was that, it was Brooks at 4 and NoBS at 5.
Oh, it's a whole stable, man. Shit. Well, we should do that. I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to get see what everybody's looking at in the group. You know, all the jobbers. But our advocate has an advocate in his top 5.
Yes.
Like you'd literally have Paul Heyman in top 5.
Yes, Paul Heyman is my number 5 on my Mount Rushmore.
Oh wow.
That's fair. I mean, that's justifiable.
I mean, you got to think, starting back to when he was a teenager, just taking pictures for WWF, and going all the way from there. He's been in the business like 40-some years.
Mm.
You know, pictures, manager, booker, writer, on-screen talent. I mean, just saying. Pretty impressive.
And the only reason you won the WWE Championship is because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays. Boom. Remember
Plus,
that
I
line?
think he's the one night stand talking to JBL.
That's right.
Plus, I think he's the best ever on the mic, in my opinion.
Oh, that's a whole other segment, man. Well, let me just wrap up Shane, and then we can continue. I want to see.
You call him Shane?
Yeah. I'm calling Shane right now.
No, that's not what
I'm telling. Oh,
So I thought you call your sleepy peepee Shane. You said you were gonna wrap him up, so I don't know.
That's wrapped up a while ago, bro. That's now under wraps. I think Shane is going to come back. I'm hoping beyond hope that this is one of those meta storylines, personally, because that would be freaking awesome to finally kind of.
A lot of faith in the creative.
Well, that's where that's where this is probably real. What's happening, but I would love for Vince McMahon to at least just once, pull something over. It's like all of these people that are just constantly just putting all the news out and oh my God, I listened to a couple of things about Shane online on YouTube yesterday from a couple of these bigger channels, and they were all talking about how he threw Kevin Owens out and he's making Kevin Owens look bad. He made all the other talent look bad, and it's like I couldn't disagree more with these people, and they were just shitting on him. And it's like, well, wait a minute, guys. Where were you for the last, like, I don't know, 8 years, 10 years, where WWE creative has shat on so many people, and just like this, you could call it 50-50 booking, where they bring someone up to championship status and then promptly defeat them, and it just they devalue everyone there, and it's like partly because there's no jobbers, but WWE has been doing that to their talent for probably more than 10 years. And for them to come out there and talk shit about Shane, somebody who is really over and who a lot of people love to see, it was kind of like, oh my God, I felt like they were just repeating shit other people wrote. And to me, like, just trolling them once with the WWE would be enough, just for me. Like, so it's all my own personal request. Please make it happen. And then I get trolled. Huh?
I say word.
There it is.
Word life.
All right, I guess that's it then, huh?
Yeah, you wrapped it up pretty good.
Oh, yeah, that felt like a good stopping point on that subject.
All right.